But there's something very innocent and something very pure about what I do that no matter, even if I talk to these guys, I still get to feel how I feel as a fan. As a fan, very important. So Jumbotron shit popping, I was like, I don't give two fucks about it. I mean, it's a nice bop, but whatever. Not gonna lie, if we go back to the last wave of reference tracks, I probably felt a little bit more about Legend. That's one of my favorite songs, even to this day. Party Next Door, who created that song. When I heard Drake first sing that song, he says, if I die, I'm a legend. I feel like it was almost a guy at his prime, almost predicting, which we've always seen in every movie, the guy at the top predicting the end. And I was like, yeah, that's Drake. Then I realized it was Party. Over time, I realized that Drake and Party have a symbiotic relationship when it comes to music. Even though I've constantly said before in the past, this motherfucker definitely, an OVO sweatshop. These two do share records. These two do collaborate in a different way that I'm going to be honest with you, and some of y'all want probably me to jump out the window, but unless Party explicitly says he's had a problem with his collaborations with Drake, I have to feel like they're two people collaborating. Now, let me get to this part before, and yes, we're going to get to the mom ties part. Just let me speak. So, as a fan, and when you're an outsider, and me being a fan, I like being an outsider. I don't like knowing, people be like, yo, you still ain't meet Drake? I'm cool. As a fan, I'm cool with not meeting Drake. As Akademiks, the industry insider, yeah, I want to meet Drake. But Akademiks, the fan, I'm cool with not meeting Drake because Drake to me is the music. I've created Drake in my mind as what the music has given. Same with other artists, so it's not a Drake glaze. It's like Travis Scott is Travis, the musical palette of Travis. Thug is the musical palette. And that's what being a fan is. I don't want to have a weird parasocial relationship with Drake. A lot of y'all are very guilty of that. I don't need that. Now, if I want to do my job real good, of course, I want to be cool with the guy and get like some inside info grade. But I just want the music, right? One thing that musical fan perspective doesn't allow for is for us to understand how music is created. And this is where, I think Drake, this is going to sound like a Drake glaze, but I'm being very honest too. I was flabbergasted. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I probably did shed a tear. When I heard him reference tracks for the first time in 2015, I was very hurt. Because I was a very naive fan at that point. That I believed that every song and every lyric and every bop and every ad-lib and every cadence and every hook came from the brain of the person that sung it. I thought that unless you were like Rihanna or Beyonce. That isn't true. That isn't true. Now, a part of this kind of then mixes my job with my fandom because as I see people react to collaborations, to people doing songs together, they're like, oh my God, he got a hook from him? Yo, he got an idea from... Yeah, as a fan, we don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that shit. I want to think that my favorite rapper did everything is motherfucking self. That ad-lib, that little skirt, ooh, that's fire. Oh, that's why you're so good. That is not the truth. Now, I'm not going to use this moment. And I got reference tracks. I'm going to tell you this right now on my computer right now because it's hit play. You would hear songs you would never think were references. But I won't do that. This isn't the time because that would be a bigger glaze. When Drake gets under fire, you throw 10 other artists under the bus. No. Evolving as a fan is realizing that the music creation process is very intricate. Some of your favorite hooks have came from the producer who can't rap. has came from other people in the studio, has came from maybe a writing camp. Not just one artist, but the majority of artists. Y'all gonna get mad. Y'all are gonna get mad. I know y'all gonna get mad because what it is that we're only hearing, seemingly, with the exception of Future we just seen. Which, by the way, think about this. Remember when I was quote unquote glazing Future? I was like, yo, the reason why Drake don't even go hard at Future and nobody from Atlanta want to stick up for Drake, Future is the great nigga. I was glazing like a motherfucker. Pause. Future is the greatest hit maker. He's just all talent. He does. Then we hear a reference track for him. It sounds good when our narrative is that Drake is the only one doing this. The reality of music is music post, and I don't want to put a time on it, but I want to say 2010s and up. I don't even want to say Kanye introed it because I could go back to when Kanye was a producer. There's songs that Kanye gave the hook for when he was just a producer, when they wouldn't let him rap. And nobody look at those rappers any different. I'm not here to tell on people. So I guess what I'm saying, and then we'll get to Mob Ties, is if you are a fan that believes your favorite rapper has created or has sung or every genius bar, melody, play on words, triple entendre, hook, bridge, pre-chorus is only from them, I bless you and I give you all the credit for having that delusion because it feels good to do that. As a fan, it feels good. It's like watching wrestling. It felt good thinking that Stone Cold Steve Austin was drinking 10 beers and stunnering 30 niggas and they couldn't fuck with him. And when he stuttered them, they couldn't get up until, it sounded good. What I'm speaking to is the reality of music creation. The reality of music creation is that there is no hit maker that has been on top, and I won't even put the time limit of 10 years. No, not even that. For 4 or 5 years or more, that has never taken a hook from somebody else. Again, this isn't the time that I could use to clearly show y'all, yo, you know so-and-so wrote this, right? You know so-and-so wrote this, right? Hey, here's this. This is not that time. Now, this is not me also making excuses, because we're going to get to that. But the first and foremost thing I have to let you know is that part of making music is artists utilizing help. Reference tracks has been a part of music, even rap, for as long as you could think about. Hearing the reference tracks is very different. By the way, I'll even tell you another secret. I got 3 artists. Well, obviously none of them they're not known as better rappers like as Drake. But the only reason why you haven't heard, if you think Drake is bad, you would think they'd be 10 times worse. Because all their biggest songs is written by, and some of them, you know the people. This is where Drake, I think, fucked up. Drake utilizes people outside of his camp. If anybody is familiar, and I don't want to call names, with some of your favorite musicians, we know 1 to 2, maybe 3 of the real people who are collectively coming together to make those hits. You know them too. You've seen these motherfuckers' names in the credits. Why is this nigga's name there? He's not on the record. He ain't doing shit. He ain't in the ad-lib and he don't produce. He wrote it, nigga. He referenced it. He gave the hook. So the problem isn't really that people use or utilize help. The problem is hearing the shit. But that matters too. What I believe Drake is definitely guilty of, I think Drake, in a desperate attempt to pursue hit songs, have worked with people outside of his camp. And also, I don't know how this even gets leaked, even when he works with people in his camp, because let me be honest, when I see Drake and Party Next Door doing records, Drake has done references for Party has done references for Drake. I almost don't give a fuck if they do references for each other. They're in the same camp. They're almost it's like a think camp or a think tank in terms of records. I don't care Party and Drake. But of course it looks crazy when you see, what the fuck, Quentin Miller? What the fuck, Vori? That does look crazy, right? And I think that's one of Drake's problems. Drake, in trying to find new styles, new bops, new melodies, new pockets, opens up his creative process to people outside. Okay, let's get to the Mob Ties part now. So the first part is me telling y'all, if your problem is with reference tracks, you're going to be heartbroken because, trust me, and not, I don't have no vendetta against no artists. If the whole game now becomes, did you help this person to write this or did you do it yourself? There's a lot of motherfuckers you're going to realize this song is really this nigga's song and he heard it and he took it and whatever. Anyway, so the Mob Ties thing, let me play my comment on the Joe Budden podcast and then we'll get into it directly, right? So first and foremost, I had heard really from this stream, and salute to my man Fax and a few other people from Discord. They were like, yo, Vori wrote Mob Ties. I kind of did a little due diligence. I heard a little bit more rumbling. And I went on the Joe Budden podcast. I think this was right after 616 dropped. Okay. So let me clarify my thoughts on this. So obviously we've now heard, and here it is. If you guys don't know, this is the Mob Ties reference track.
Say yeah.
That is Vori.
Yeah. Say stick to these niggas. Stick to these bitches. Hire a shooter. You ready these bitches. And I'm on my riches. I turn out the bitch. I turn out the bridge. It is what it is, sure. Black Porsche, cause I let my movie fast.
Now, I don't want to get copywritten on here, but what's important to note is that the hook is taken pretty much as is, and then the verses are slightly changed. There's a couple words changed, maybe slight ad-libs, but pretty much the core of the song is Vori, right? And that's the hook and the flow. That's it, right? Drake added some verses, honestly not the most spectacular verses, but they were cool, and they worked for the song. And yeah, now, obviously, number one, I do realize this is still the era where even though the battle, isn't ongoing as people might think it is, people are still using or looking for reasons to down Drake. So people have tried to use me consecutively to try to be like, oh, if Axe says this, Drake's really down bad. And that's one thing. I don't really like that, but whatever. I will also respond to that, though. But based on what I said, and also based on the track that came out, this is exactly how I feel about this Mob Ties reference track. As a true fan of Drake, I was hurt. And I was disappointed. And I'm still disappointed. And the reason why I'm disappointed is not because the record was referenced by Vori. The reason why is because I look at Drake as a hit factory. And if you're gonna, it's a reason why half of these niggas take so long to produce music. Drake is like McDonald's for music. Like, hit. Now, keep in mind, if Drake is fucking 10 bitches a week, he's at courtside 3 times a week, he's in Turks like for 6 months. Like, it's impossible that I know Yachty came and told me the story of him writing what's that shit called? Churchill Downs in like 11 minutes. But bro, like, creativity just doesn't come that quick. It just doesn't, right? It takes time to come up with this. So I've, as a fan, and this is just me as a fan, I've realized that, that's why I'm not mad at the Jumbotron shit popping. Yeah, Drake ain't gonna write every record. right? And he's like, if we like that type of Drake, a lot of us want that, and we can't be hypocrites neither, right? The same thing I praise Drake for, I can't get mad at him for. Why do I praise him? I say, yo, Drake, I'm glad that you don't take 3 years to create a fucking song. You know who does? Kendrick and them niggas. Part of that is probably, yo, I'm going to keep a bop out there. Now, I'm trying, maybe you say I'm splitting hairs here, but I look at Jumbotron shit popping, even Mob Ties, in the same kind of ilk as a lit song, but I'm still disappointed because when it comes to times that Drake got his back against the wall or got a distinct message to send, I expect that to come from the artist himself. That's a fact. I expect that to come from his frustration, his aggression, his just, yo, these niggas, like when I heard, you got to remember, this is coming after the whole thing with Pusha T. And he's thinking, yo, he's been saying the whole game against him, Jay-Z, now we see Kanye and this and other people. So he's like sick of these. I'm expecting that to be an innate thought. I'm not expecting him to be a person who's picking out of a catalog to be like, hey, what song sounds good that I could put out? No, I'm not expecting that. And that's my disappointment. It's not the fact that the record, because the record ain't that lyrical. The record ain't that lyrical, just to be very clear. It's a bop. And by the way, I also have to apologize to Vori because I should have knew this shit was going to come. Because after there was a clip, where I spoke about what I like about this rap game. Wait, hold on. Here we go. No. There's a clip where I was talking about it.
Do some fucking internet detective activity, bro. See if you can find a Vori reference.
Okay, he is credited, but he ain't write nothing, nigga. I want to apologize to Vori, and I kind of knew something was gonna happen or come, because Vori messaged me after this, and Vori said, "Ak, you're one of my favorite bloggers. It's crazy that people are sending me videos of you, speaking ill of my name." And I was like, "No, I wasn't trying to speak ill of your name. I was just, my GOAT is Drake, and I don't think Drake would need you for a fucking record. I'm sorry." And after hearing the record, I'm wrong. I'm here to say I'm wrong. It's fine. I am wrong. This song was the brainchild and the creation and the genius of Vori. This was a genius of Vori with the addition of Drake's performance and him coloring within the lines. That's what this was. Drake did his thing. Drake, of course, I don't think none of these, by the way, this is an amazing reference too. Like this reference, I actually think, some of the Party references, I think people sleep on Party a bit. I think Party were creating those knowing that they were never going to go out. So people be like, damn, that sounds flat. Like even Legend just sounds so flat. Then when Drake performs, it sounds so great. Yeah, it sounds fucking mixed and mastered in $1 million studio. Duh, and like with the best shit ever. So Drake's version is 10 times better. And even though I think Drake's version of Mob Ties is still better than Vori's, Vori's is fire. I think if Vori dropped this track himself, it's still a hit. Still a hit. So anyway, I did want to apologize to Vori for that because, that was the fan in me. And that was the fan in me not wanting to believe that a song that, when I think about that era, and I'll pull up Scorpion for y'all. When I think about that era where people were saying that Drake lost his first rap battle, man, I love that album, bro. That album's classic to me. Like, if you guys have been listening to me, I've been saying this album's classic to me. It means so much to me because I do think it takes something special. Remember, even like recently with this whole Kendrick shit, I'm like, I can't wait for Drake's next project. You know why? Bro, it's something when the greats' backs are against the wall, they provide the greatest shit they could do. When you listen to this album, Survival, even the fucking motherfucking titles is telling the story. Survival, Nonstop, Elevate. Like Emotionless. Like Emotionless is a song that I've played. I used to just play at nausea, and I was just like I felt the feeling that I would believe you would have in that moment of all these things happening turbulent in your life. Right? God's plan, that's a bop. I'm upset. I don't really care too much for that song. 8 out of 10, yeah, that's one of those two. But Mob Ties is one too. Mob Ties is one and can't take a joke. So, just truthfully, man, I was disappointed that didn't come from Drake. I was, and you know, I'm gonna be honest. It was hard to sleep for the last 2 nights. It was. Because all I kept hearing was Vori just screaming in my ear. And I'm like, Vori, stop. Yeah. As I go down the rabbit hole of thinking about the track, I start to think many things. I'm like, to me, this was a comeback album. To me, this was the fuck a battle. I'm bigger than that. To me, this was the home run album. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, first of all, Duppy Freestyle was so fire. Like, yeah, okay, you didn't respond, but like, bro, you came back with the biggest songs in the fucking world. It was a step back for me a little bit. I'm like, damn. Yeah, I was a little bit I was a little bit hurt. I was a little bit hurt by it. I still love the song, and I love Vori's version. I love Drake's version. But, my timeline and my storyline of Drake's career, when it got to this point, them records meant something to me. Like, I'm going to just be honest with you. Like, Survival, if Drake didn't do that, nigga, of course I'm motherfucking hurt. Elevate, of course. Yo, Emotionless, bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I probably would just have to just like, I don't even know what I would, if I found out Drake didn't write. And now, granted, here's the thing. Because I think some people want me to have an indictment against Drake's whole career. Yeah, I'm disappointed about the track. But Drake's a phenomenal fucking artist. I know he's a phenomenal fucking artist. I know he's a legendary, all-time great GOAT. Some people want to use this to be like, oh, he's eliminated. No, he's not eliminated on no conversations. He's not. To me, he's still the GOAT. However, it doesn't mean that I can't criticize these songs. And they're still great songs. But it loses the personal touch that I used to connect to that song with that I thought Drake felt. I thought Drake felt exactly how he felt on Mob Ties. Like, yo, man, let me just fuck up all these niggas. Fuck them. Even if he thought that the sentiment, the energy wasn't created by him. And I look at the song a little bit different, still a bop. I'm like, just gotta keep it honest. Now, granted, here's the thing. Let me think about this. Like, if he didn't write Jaded, I don't give a fuck if he didn't write Jaded. Nice for What? I don't give a fuck if he didn't write Nice for What. In My Feelings, I don't give a fuck if he didn't write that. Just to kind of let you know how I look at shit as a fan. These songs, I don't care. In My Feelings, who cares, right? But Mob Ties, there was just something about that, bro. I'm not going to call Mob Ties up there with headlines, but if I found out Drake ain't write headlines, that would hurt me too. What? Oh. Now, this is what happens, though, intuitively. And this is where us Drake fans have to be honest. We all know Drake's an amazing writer. We all know how great he is. But when these things get exposed, we can't just be like, oh, no, the conversation. Like, some people are trying to have the conversation, even though I think facetiously, oh, well, what did he write? Well, shit. I believe he wrote the majority. I believe he wrote 90% of his catalog, if you ask me. Right? I believe all the lyrical records, I believe he wrote. Honestly. But now when people try to throw this in as an asterisk again, because I do think he got past the asterisk. That shit that Meek Mill tried to do, I think he got past it. And I think this was like the first thing that people were like, wait, should we think about that again and put it into a different perspective? Somebody says 90%, I think is crazy. I do think 90%. Somebody says, why is it Drake the only rapper that got exposed? Bro, I don't know, bro. bro. Like if I sat here and told you some of but some of these songs ain't even like, you know what I mean? Like I've never heard no lyrical tracks really get credited to somebody else. You know what I mean? Like I've never heard a Kendrick lyrical track got credited to someone. I've heard rumors that Kendrick, like a hook for a song was demoed by some random nigga and Kendrick adopted it. Now, maybe if you hear the reference, which I don't know if it was a reference, maybe you're like, oh my God, Kendrick exposed. But it's like, no, that's kind of like song creation, right? That's how I look at it to me. Have I heard that anything with Kendrick lyrical has ever been? No, hell no. Have I heard that about Drake? No. Have I heard about Cole? No. Actually, I've never heard nothing about Cole, to be very clear. But some of these other artists, you know, again, I think it just goes back to two things. Either Drake has a lack of care because he seems to be the only one exposed, or maybe he's just too big, pause, and that's why he's getting exposed. Or just perhaps, you know, he's at the point where he knows even if you know that some of these records he didn't like think of or create himself, like at least the initial thought, we're still gonna love it. You know, when I was on the Joe Budden podcast, I said something about Drake that I don't think people got when I said it. I said that when they were talking about Drake and they were like, yo, why is Drake still rapping or singing about 21-year-old girls? And I said, Drake to me, and this is why I'm glad that, like, I don't look at Drake as the person Drake. I don't look at Drake as a 37-year-old man running around. I look at Drake as almost like a genre and an entity. Now, nothing to do with a god or nothing like that, because I said entity. I look at Drake as he's the guy who fits the bill of making music that serves these emotions and makes music for 20-something-year-olds. That's it. Even now, I think, like I said to someone recently, I said, yo, if you really, like, Drake makes music, not for 30-year-olds, not for 40-year-olds. He makes music for people who are living their early 20s lifestyle. And yeah, for example, I'm in my 30s, right? Yeah, you could almost like, it's almost like nostalgic a bit, but then, you know what I identify the most with Drake these days? When he talks success, because I'm in the success era of my life. When you're in your 30s, that's when you get like a lot of success, usually as men, right? So that's what, but like these days when he's talking about a 21-year-old playing him, I don't understand with that, you know what I mean? Or maybe I should, I don't know. Anyway, the point what I'm trying to say is that like there was a time where Drake used to, you know, I remember when I was like 22 and Drake was rapping about, yo, I'm fucking up on the double cheek kiss, right? And that was like the vulnerability that Drake had at the point. And then eventually Drake got to be the guy, and Drake stopped rapping about as much vulnerability as he would rap about, yo, I'm just running through these bitches. And you would hear vulnerability, but it would be on a R&B level. It was very different. I realized that Drake's music wasn't gonna age into 30s. Like, you know, I've said this before. Drake got to the fork in the road, and he chose Tootsie Slide. He chose, I'm gonna keep serving the youth, and for all the motherfuckers who are 30s, if you're in your 30s and you've been rocking with me, nigga, go listen to Take Care. Go listen, like it's like what Hov said. You like my old shit? Go buy that, or go listen to that. So I've looked at Drake as, you know, I'm not co-signing his lifestyle choices. Who cares about his lifestyle choices? But his music, I think his music is meant for 20-something-year-olds. I don't think he's making music for 30-something-year-olds. And I think that's, you know, a lot of music in general that is lit and contemporary aims towards that crowd. So that's why I say Drake's just Drake's a thing. He's like a thing that creates hit songs, quotables, and whatever else. He turns it out for that demographic. Does that make any sense? Black Cotton says, nigga, that's weird. I don't know if that's weird necessarily. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's weird? This is gonna be maybe a very different. Do you think it's weird when PewDiePie was 30 or late 20s entertaining teenagers? His content is teenage content. His content ain't meant for 20-year-olds. He never grew with his content. His content's always meant for kids. Ninja's content is always meant for kids. Like, he was trying to advance after a while because he's older now, but it's meant for kids. You get what I'm saying? There's Drake, I've realized, is meant for people in their 20s, men and female alike. Dudes who are first, like, trying to, like, you know, getting themselves, like, starting to kind of, you know, grow into themselves and dating and experiencing heartbreaks and disappointment, but some triumphs, and then those women who are associated, which are usually in the same age bracket. I think that's what Drake's music is, honestly. Like, to be honest, if Drake created like a 444 in terms of him kind of talking about, you know, just being at a different stage of his life, I would be fucking shocked. I think Drake made an album, was it last year or the year before? It's called Certified Lover Boy. What the fuck you expect from the nigga? You know what I mean? Like, put like this. If I told you a nigga is saying he's a certified lover boy, you'd be like, oh yeah, he's 25, clearly. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I've realized that Drake's music, y'all need to detach. Well, I've detached from the man. I've put it in this realm of he's like an entity create music for a finite group of people that recycles itself. So everybody who graduates college, his music is going to hit the hardest till you hit your 30s and you start having kids. Then you're like, damn, Drake, how you still rapping about getting bitches in the club? Nigga, we got child support. Damn, nigga, we got to get a babysitter. Yeah, he ain't talking to y'all. Y'all niggas who got to get babysitters, y'all knee hurt when y'all play basketball, your back hurt, you using Bengay. He ain't talking to y'all. He talking to the new bitches who's getting fucked, the new niggas who got a little bit of bread, getting sections in the club. You know what I mean? He's talking to them. Really think about it. Just think about it. Somebody said proving Kendrick right. That's another thing that I think some of y'all are hemmed up on. Kendrick don't determine what Drake is. Drake is Drake. Kendrick added some shame to what Drake is. You're right. But I don't think Drake needs to change who he is. Like, Drake has picked this path. The nigga picked the path. We want, like, if Drake, the biggest L I think Drake could take is if Drake changed his music and his focus because Kendrick forced him to, yo, I see the boy, but where's the man? So now he's like, oh, let me rap about some man shit. No, nigga. Nigga, your name is the boy, nigga. You've been rapping about, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you've been rapping about bagging 24, 25-year-olds for the last 8 years, nigga. If he stopped doing that, now I ain't saying that there's nothing wrong with if he stopped doing that, but I think he's identified. If you're not identifying with this new generation, you're in the fall off category. And I think that's how he's not falling off. Like, he's, you know, or at least on a pop level, because, you know, obviously I'm not saying like Kendrick or Cole that's fallen off, even though Cole just did a song called Grippy. That shit was crazy. I savor his grippy. I'm like, what the fuck? What is Cole doing? It's all good. All right. So, have I clarified my thoughts on Mob Ties? I am disappointed because it felt like the focus of the song. It's not lyrically. For the people who means it's an indictment that he's not, bro, I'm sorry to tell you, I will still sit here and argue you till you die that Drake lyrical records are better than Kendrick lyrical. I don't give a fuck, nigga. I will still sit here and argue. But have I acknowledged that some of these popular trendy songs have been created by or being helped or collaborated with other people? Yeah. My only thing with this record is I wanted this to be him. 100%. This one record, I wanted I'll tell you some other records that I'm like, nigga, this needs to be you, because every 3 or 4 years, niggas try to cancel Drake. And he always comes, like, he hits back with the craziest shit, right? Let's go to views, right? Oh, well, this is almost like a timestamp record, so I guess this wouldn't count. Because I was about to pull up, what do you call it again? I was about to pull up I was gonna pull up Her Loss. Not Her Loss. I mean, Simmons' record, More Life. But I think Do Not Disturb. But like, Do Not Disturb is like a timestamp record. Let me pick out some records that I'm like, even though they're not lyrical, right? And by the way, to this day, we haven't heard no lyrical records of Drake being leaked. But I'm gonna be honest. Okay, here we go. I'll tell you. First of all, Hold On, We're Going Home. One of Drake's biggest record. We don't. I think everybody that's Magic Jordan, right? Yeah, we don't give a fuck. All right, we're not gonna use Tuscan Leather. That's lyrical. Let's just see records that we're like, oh my god, if this ain't him. Let's go to Take Care. Not a lyrical record, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I would cry tears if he ain't right. Look What You've Done. I would cry tears, like just bawl. I would bawl. Look What You've Done is, to me, is such a personal record, right? And I think that's what we have to, like, me, I know you guys here for me to either have a glaze-a-thon or just throw him under the bus. I still think he's a phenomenal lyricist. I still think he's a writer for himself and others, but I've also believed people have helped him write. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, no, he's just done it as an island. I would like to think, and that's where my disappointment comes to Mob Ties, that certain records, though, you could know. Like, bro, who cares if the motto, like, it's the motto. Who gives a fuck, right? But doing it wrong? Oh, well, these are R&B records, kind of, so maybe I should chill with these. But Look What You've Done. There's a lot of rapping on that. Look What You've Done. I'd be hurt. Headlines. I'd be hurt. Let me see. I ain't even gonna say Marvin's Room because that's like R&B, right? Let's go to the next album. Nothing Was the Same. Let's see. Where's the track list to this? Tuscan Leather, that's rap. Nah, of course I'd be hurt. Like, that's a different level though. Like, if Drake can write Tuscan Leather, like, nigga, I'd be in tears. Let me see what else. What record on here? I'm like, it's not lyrical, but I feel like it's him. Cause I've gotten into the story of Drake, right? Like, you know, it's like watching a movie, right? Let's go to Views. What's on Views? Yeah, I think it's just mostly the lyrical records, right? Like, because Western Road Flows, like, if you ain't write Western Road Flows, like, y'all got it, bro. Now, if you ain't write Controller, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't care if you don't write Controller. I don't care if you didn't write One Dance. I don't care if he didn't write Pop Style, which I think, didn't somebody else help write it? Whatever. Fire and Desire, like, I look at his R&B shit differently. And Hotline Bling, of course, nigga, took drum shit. Fuck that nigga. No disrespect, drum. I think Mob Ties is probably the first, like, reference track I've ever heard. I'm like, oh. It was like a gut punch. I'm like, ah. I thought that was my man's. Let me see Certified Lover Boy. Let me see. I think Poppy's Home. Yeah, if you write Poppy's Home and Champagne Poetry, I'll be a little bit hurt. I'll be a little hurt. Let me see what other song. Obviously, 7 a.m. on Bridal Path. Obviously, Knife Talk, too. Yeah, definitely not Knife Talk. I don't know, man. It's like, it's put me in an interesting and weird position. Who cares about Honesty? Never mind. And then For All the Dogs, most of these are like R&B songs, so. Apparently, this Callin' For You record was done by, what's that nigga named Cash Cobain. So this is a Cash Cobain reference that's supposedly out there. I think it's actually, can we play it? Callin' For You. Let me see. Cash Cobain. Bang calling. Yeah. This is who's leaking these tracks though?
I just met a baddie. She only 21. I don't see a savage. She only 21. She know that I come with static, so she wanna hold the gun. If you want it, you can have it. Just make sure that's what you want.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, but that's R&B. Fear of Heights, he better have wrote that. All that dissing he was doing to Rihanna, he better have wrote that. By the way, you know what's so interesting about the Mob Ties thing too? Here, this is the interesting part, right? Check this out.
Say, yeah, 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 say, stick to these niggas, stick to these bitches, hire shooter, you really these bitches, and I'm on my riches. I turn out the bitch, I turn out the bridge, it is what it is, Black Porsche, cause that Lambo moving fast. Watch your homie if he moving on his ass.
In the rocket and that bitch ain't got no tags. Louis bags in exchange for body bags. Okay, that line right there, right? I remember being in a penthouse in Manhattan with XXXTentacion's mom. This is after 2018. And she was so hurt. She was just like, yo, this motherfucker keeps dissing my son. And shout out to Cleo, by the way. And I remember saying, and I'm a huge Drake fan, but I couldn't say nothing. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, yo, why would he say? It was two lines. It was this, and it was like, yo, SMS triple X. That's why I only aim below the neck, something like that. And then this, it was like, I'm like, yo, why is Drake taunting X, bro? Louis bag, because it was the whole thing that X got robbed for the 50,000. I was in a Louis bag, and so it's like, yo, Louis bag changed for body bags, right? Like, you know, and I think in the I'm Upset track, right, I'm Upset lyrics, it felt like he was taunting him again. This is 2018 after X died, right? Like he comes with it says SMS triple X, SMS. Yeah, he says SMS triple X. That's the only time I ever shoot below the neck. Why you keep on shooting if you know that nigga dead? That's the only shit that gets you some respect, right? And I remember saying, like, I remember like listening to Cleo, and she was hurt, bro. And obviously, like, I'm a huge fan of Drake, but I was like, damn, man, why Drake even doing that lame shit, right? I ain't gonna lie. At least today I feel a little bit better. That wasn't Drake. That wasn't Drake. That was Vori. That shit was definitely Vori. I'm giving Vori the credit for that one. Yeah, because at first I'm like, yo, why? Like, why? Why Drake doing that, man? Drake, why you doing that shit? Now I could be like, whoa, okay, that was Vori. All right, perfect. I might have even said that to Drake. I was like, yo, I think I was just like, yeah, I met with X's mom. Bro, like, yo, she don't like how you be fucking still dissing her son. He never really, like, responded directly to it. But I was just like, I was kind of feeling that myself. But now we know that wasn't Drake. That wasn't Drake. I'm having audio issues. Am I cutting out people? Sorry. Let me know if we're good, okay? Am I good now? Are we good? Mic check, mic check. Just trying to make sure that the sound is good. The mic is broken. There's a delay? Give me 1 second. Let me try to fix this. Louis bags and change the body bags. Are we good? Shit's taking forever to load. I don't know if I'm still online. Okay, I think it's loading. Oh, the audio is good? Okay, cool. Yeah. Now, let me say this. And maybe I was saying accurate, being too nuanced. You should just be against it all. I'm understanding Drake's a hit maker and Drake does collaborate. I that needs to be said, and that's me as a fan accepting that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be very honest with you. And this is what I don't know. But if I found out, I would probably be 10 times madder. And I'm not moving the goalposts. If it was found out that, I don't know, Drake has a camp, a writing camp, a sweatshop, and when moments like that happen, he goes to them and says, yo, how about y'all write me a song where I'm reminding them bitch ass nigga that I got some mob ties. Like if he's instructing niggas to create this, like, yeah, I need something that I could act like I'm like mobbed up. It's one thing if it's like, yo, y'all in the creative process, that's a song that kind of fits what you got going on, even though I still frown on it because I'm like, I wish that was from you. But it's a whole different story if you're like imagine saying, yo, I just got my heart broke by this bitch. Like, yo, could y'all write me a fuck you bitch song and just say the bitch, like, the bitch pussy was mid, and then you hear Fear of Heights, and that's what it, like, I mean, fuck, like, what? Now, I'm assuming this ain't that. Like, I would be a little bit like, what the fuck is going on if it's like Drake goes to Vori and says, yo, Vori, yo, cook me up something, bruh. Yo, cook me up something. Remind these niggas like, yo, I fuck with Jay Prince and them, nigga. Just cook me up something like that, gang. And Vori comes back with mob ties. If that's what it is, my heart, I can't take it. That I'm assuming this ain't that. If you guys are having audio problems, please refresh the stream on YouTube. I think there might be a YouTube problem only. You guys should be fine. Now, I'm being honest. And I honestly, this is me because I love Drake's music. I'm hoping this is not the case. Because trust me, I've done the mental gymnastics already. Like, I imagine even the Quentin Miller shit, right? I always thought, Quentin is just rapping over beats. Like, yo, he's just getting these ideas and he's rapping over beats. I do think there's a whole nother level to this. If Drake is going to him and saying, yo, bro, could you write me a song that's just talking about me throwing money, 10 bands, 20 bands, and that's how, like, that would hurt, right? Like, I remember when this came out, I was just like, look, listen. Hold on. Now, I remember saying, obviously, we know the 6 is Toronto. It's no way Drake told a nigga in... I always thought this nigga was rapping about Zone 6. It's no way Drake calls up Quentin Miller and says, yo, bro, write me a song about you running through the 6. Write me a Toronto type song. You know, the 6 side, you know what I mean? Or, if that's what happened, oh, my my heart. No, I'm hoping that's not what happened. Like, I'm hoping that that's what that happened. No, I'm serious though. Like, you know what I mean? Again, the thing with reference tracks and the thing with like when you believe someone's life and their story, the nuanced perspective with Drake is that no one could write Drake's life like Drake, right? Like no one could write Weston Road Flows where he's talking about, you know, TTC Metro and him being like back in Toronto on the come up grind, except Drake. No one could tell your life story except you. If the fucking ghostwriter, or let's not call it ghostwriter, right? If the collaborator is literally just saying, like, it was a little alarming, like, why is Quentin Miller singing about running through the 6?
I got that Ferrari and I swear. I got that Bugatti just to hurt.
For my sake, I'm gonna be like, nah, you know what? He talking about Zone 6. Quentin Miller was talking about running through Zone 6 with his woes. Okay. Anyway, Twitter been on one. I ain't gonna lie to you. Look, Quentin Miller. Here we go. Not Quentin Miller. Actually, it says Drake Mob Ties. So there's a part where everybody's pointing out, be like, yo, Drake was jacking that he created Mob Ties when he was on the shop with LeBron. He said, check this out.
You know, and now I feel pure. I'm good.
You feel good.
You know, yeah. And you know what I did? I took that energy, just like you said. I took that energy and I put it into me, not you. You don't get that.
You told me you didn't have certain songs on Scorpion until that.
I didn't have In My Feelings. I didn't have Nonstop. I didn't have.
Yeah, no, I don't care who wrote In My Feelings. Nonstop, I want Drake to write.
What's one of our favorite songs?
Nah, this is so funny because LeBron is like, yo, what's our like, he's not naming none of the songs Drake is trying to name. He just named some other shit.
Till that.
I didn't have In My Feelings. I didn't have Nonstop. I didn't have.
What's one of our favorite songs, Mavi, now?
Sick of these niggas.
This nigga's face when he says sick of these niggas. Like, you could tell for them and even Bron. I wish Bron would be on a podcast and be like, just react to this. Because I could tell Bron felt that and was probably in the league like, yeah, I am sick of these bitch-ass basketball players doubting the king. Just like Drake is sick of these fuck rap niggas down him.
What's one of our favorite songs, Mavi, now?
Sick of these niggas.
Oh, my God.
Yo, I know that. Sick of these niggas. Like, yeah, it's so fucking good.
Sick of these niggas.
Oh, my God.
I didn't have Mob Ties.
I'm sick of
Sick
them.
of these niggas.
Yo, and then Drake has this little smirk. After he's like, oh yeah, that one too.
I didn't have Mob Ties.
I'm sick of
Sick
them.
of these niggas.
Drake, I love you, but this shit funny, bro.
Hide some help.
That little shrug right there is like,
I'm sick of
Sick
them.
of these niggas.
Hide some help.
Yeah.
Get rid of you niggas.
Let's do it. It's a
Get
wrap,
rid of
baby.
you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Yes,
Thank you. It's a
sir.
wrap.
oh man. Anyway, my man Elliot Wilson is still in his fuck Drake face. He mad Drake gonna follow him or something. He posted part of his Rap Radar interview with Drake. Look, and it was this part. Where is it at? Here we go. Hold on.
That's not me, no. I've wrote by the way, all my biggest songs and any song that really, really did damage for me, I've wrote every single lyric. So that, like,
the hits, yeah.
The hits and the one.
Could we go back to Drake talking about that? Drake.
that's kind of how music
songs, and even to this credit, I feel like you're still battling these ghostwriting rumors and this type of thing. That in some sense, I think does try to tarnish your legacy, whether it's effective or not. Like, how do you look back on that album, and does that still take away anything from that album for you, or how do you view it now when you look at it?
No, I really have, I've really made my peace. I have no embarrassment when it comes to what I did on that album. I mean, I worked with somebody on, I think, 4 or 5 songs on that record. I pulled my weight when it came to my pen. It wasn't like I just, it wasn't like I needed somebody to facilitate, entire ideas. We worked together. And if I need to be the poster child that took all those hits for all my peers hiding behind me that do the same thing every fucking album, that's fine, I'll do it. Because
that is true.
There's a lot of people that link up with other people and make records.
Hey, chat, let me ask you a question. I just want to get like a delusional score here. Name some artists you feel like don't do what Drake do. In terms of, I know ghostwriting is the catchy term, but let's say collaborating, trading references, giving each other songs. Name some artists you know don't do that. Name some artists. Okay, I see Kendrick. See some people say Youngboy. Kodak. People say Eminem. Some people say Cardi. Tyler, the Creator, and yes, I can see y'all. Snoop, Key Glock, Russ. Let me ask y'all a question. Let me ask you a question. If Travis if Travis and The Weeknd did or does the same thing, would that matter to y'all or not? This is a Drake specific thing. So so y'all are naming people who only rap. This is why, I think with Drake, you got to take him at his rap songs. Then you can't take his pop songs and then criticize him. If you're only naming people who rap, and you're saying you don't think they use help, and some of these people y'all are spamming, I've never heard about. Won't say don't exist, but I've never heard about. But those are people who primarily only rap. Their thing is only rapping. Maybe we should only take Drake rap songs, and at that point, we don't have any Drake reference tracks. Like, when I mean Drake rap songs, Drake songs where he's spitting bars, not like Drake trying to make a hit. So I said, so Mob Ties ain't a rap song? Mob Ties is a hit song, bro. Like, that's not what make Drake top 5 rapper. Let me ask you, I'll just throw it out to y'all. Is that what make Drake a top 5 rapper to y'all? Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me ask you a question. I just want to ask y'all this. If there was a reference track where someone helped with this song, Would you say Kendrick is any less of a great artist? Yes or no? Just say yes or no. It's a song with him and Rihanna. I'll play a little bit of it. I can't play the whole thing. You say yes? Some people say yes, some people say no. Okay. All right. Okay.
Like I just, it wasn't like I needed somebody to facilitate, entire ideas. We worked together. And if I need to be the poster child that took all those hits for all my peers hiding behind me that do the same thing every fucking album, that's fine, I'll do it. Because there's a lot of people that link up with other people and make records that you guys love, And that's kind of how music is a collaborative thing, It's and I understand in rap, of course, in your comment section, it's a little different because we conduct ourselves, and I still associate myself in that community, we conduct ourselves by a few different rules. We tweak the rules a little bit in the sense that...
If it's a hook, it's okay.
Yeah, it's like, there's things like that, but, with that being said, like, anybody that knows me knows that my strongest talent is writing. That is my strongest talent. I'm not a great singer. I'm a good performer. I've grown into a great performer. But my greatest talent is writing, and that's why people ask me to write songs for them. That's why people like to get in the room and write with me. And yeah, I want to just...
Yo, I agree with what Drake is saying. I just, man, my opinion on this is Drake is a 37-year-old man trying to keep up with a 20-something-year-old game. He wants to make music for the youth. It's not natural that he has a flow or songs that a fan that listens to Yeet would listen to, or a fan that listens to Yachty will listen to. If you listen to Drake's style of music, going from So Far Gone, continuing, you could tell when it would have gotten, which by the way, one of the people who I really think don't use help, which I thought she should have. So let's not get this twisted, because we're either gonna get on the, are we here just to be the yo, you did it all by yourself police, or we want great music? I thought Nicki should have always gotten help, because there was a point Nicki was stuck for 6 years straight, sounding like she was in a different era. And the reason why is that she was used to a certain style of rap that, rap styles evolve, right? I think Drake was there early 2012, 2013, and then he had to get with the swag raps that was still potent. The 10 bands and shit like that. That's why I think he started, okay, so who kind of got that type of, swag or flow or cadence that I could kind of, piggyback off? Me, do I indict his pen in terms of lyricism? No. Do I contextualize the fact every time I hear a new melody or a new style from Drake that Drake has probably adopted some shit from somebody who's collaborating with or a younger artist? Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened. My nigga, Drake's 37 and made a song that sounds like Cash Cobain. Yeah, he probably adopted a little bit of what Cash Cobain got going on. Why? Because Cash Cobain is the new, is the hot, is the young, is the trendy. Him working with Yachty, I don't think he's working with Yachty like, oh, Yachty, help me with bars. He's probably like, yo, Yachty, you have this pocket that you've gotten into that I know I could bring a polished Drake vibe to that could work. Am I indicting him as he's not a good writer because of that? No, I understand it.
Just encourage anybody, look, if it makes a great song and you're the one that's voicing it, but it's you and this other person that's cooking it up, you're not doing anything wrong, And that's just, again, from me speaking to any new artist, don't let anybody tell you that you're not supposed to collaborate on you. That's what this is for. We should, whatever gets you to that destination where you have, you know, a great body of work. If you need somebody to write the whole thing and all you do is just go in and track it, there's still artists that exist like that to this day that people love and revere, and they sell out stadiums.
That's not you though.
That's not me, no. I've wrote all, by the way, all my
Now, you talking about The Weeknd right there. I don't know if you know.
revere, and they sell out stadiums.
That's not you though.
That's not me, no. I've wrote all, by the way, all my
You
biggest
talking about The Weeknd and Beyonce, low key, right there.
destination where you have, you know, a great body of work. If you need somebody to write the whole thing and all you do is just go in and track it, there's still artists that exist like that to this day that people love and revere, and they sell out stadiums.
That's not you though.
That's not me, no. I've wrote all, by the way, all my biggest songs, and any song that really, really did damage for me, I've wrote every single lyric. So that, like,
the hits, yeah.
Not the hits and the ones that you would like. It's like I'm not going to collaborate with somebody on any of the timestamp records. I'm not collaborating with anybody on, you know, Marvin's Room, or, you know, like the R&B records that are, you know, other.
Bruh, yo. let me just spit some truth bombs, and I don't give a fuck who gets mad, Drake included. Let me just tell you the truth. Bro, it's impossible to be the only artist I've seen do this, nigga, and it's not a hip hop, nigga. His name is motherfucking, this is why I say he's the greatest of all time, Vibes Cartel, nigga. Have a million different flows, a million different ideas, write for 50 different people, and we never hear that people are writing for him. It's impossible to keep adapting to the changes of culture, the changes of times. Usually when you get in this industry that's so hard to get in, you have a run. It's the same with producers. And after that, music changes it changes every 3 to 5 years. And after it changes, usually most artists are done. Some of the great artists know how to like levitate by, collab with this guy, kind of use their new flow, kind of like, kind of hide behind their new little wave, but you're the bigger artist, so you win. But if some of y'all, again, and maybe this goes to help discredit Drake, but it is what it is. There's nobody in hip hop that has really lasted for fucking over 10 years. Actually, only thing over 5 years without them running out of real creative juice, my nigga. Like, I'm just sorry to tell you. Music just moves too fast. And when that happens, these artists either fall off or try to find some way to stay in the game. And that's what I believe Drake has done. He's done it consistently. I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Some of the most creative artists, I was fucking shocked when I heard that they were getting helped. Bro, I was shocked when I heard the Future shit. Nigga, I thought Future was the epitome of creativity. But even Future needs some fucking help. Even Future, my nigga. Bro, I remember even when I found out The Weeknd helped Drake with some shit, and Weeknd had like a run, I said, The Weeknd is the greatest ever. My nigga, I was fucking bewildered when I heard that, like, his 3 biggest songs was written by Belly. I was like, what the fuck? That shit, yeah, but the reality of creativity is that these artists and their creative process, as time moves on, they have to do things to stay in the mix. That's just seriously what it is. Now, I'm only talking about that for songs that like hit songs. I'm not talking about that for bars. If there's any song with a bar, like I'm telling you, like I'll throw my hands up in the air, y'all got it. Like I was just kind of pause and not write it out. Just there's nothing more for me to say. If there's a truly lyrical song that we have defined Drake's career or his greatness with, if that comes out to be not Drake's creation, and I'm not talking about maybe he took a line here, line there, that's different. I'm talking about a reference tracks, because I know some people, even Drake fans, want to say, these reference tracks aren't Drake trading ideas with these niggas. No, that's not what it is. These niggas are sending it in. Boy Wonder drops a pack to some writing camp or to some niggas who are in that creative process. They all send the tracks back. Drake listens to them. Whatever one he likes, he records to. Okay? I'm not going to act like it's as collaborative as it seems. I'm not acting like Drake and Vori was trading lines. I'm not going to act like that. That would be delusional. No. I think Vori cooked up this track. Drake refined it and added his sauce to it and performed it amazingly. But I don't think that Drake was like, okay, yo, I kind of have this hook. Just put the words to it. Like, I don't think they were collabing like that, truth be told. I don't think it was that good, like, because when you hear collaboration, I've been in a room and watched some songs get made, and, like, it's like a cipher damn near. Like, niggas is just trying to, like, and yeah, the artist is one of 5, and there's 5 other people just throwing in a line here, a line there. I'm not calling those niggas ghostwriting for the artist. Bro, y'all collaborated. Y'all just, like, fucking ciphered the shit out. So, I say that's collaboration. I don't know how much collaboration it is if a nigga just gives you like a finished song and you just have to sing in your voice and change a couple words. I don't know. Anyway.
Other than me and Party, like, I love working with
But I think
Party.
when you say the timestamp records, that is like the MC, like the
Those are
bars,
the best.
right?
Yeah.
So I think the idea was like try to discredit you as an MC that all of that doesn't come from your pen.
Of course.
You're saying that comes from your pen.
But again, curated by the people who are ready to see the downfall of Drake. So again, just another little like, let's try this angle. It's really like I said, I've done studio sessions with people. When I collaborate with people, I always send the idea first. I'm the one that picks the beat and goes, yo, here, just put a verse on this and take that for your album, your single or whatever. I put work in. People know me. I'm good for it. So that's why I'm never really stressed about like that narrative. It's cool. It's fun. Again, it's cool for like memes and people that want to laugh and all that dumb shit. But
How
it's
do you
like,
feel in that moment of Meek sort of putting that out there and then everything goes crazy, right? A guy that was your friend, things get a little hectic with you guys at that point, right?
Yeah. He was. I think he was in a bad mental spot, and he just made like a decision to go crazy. It was. If I remember correctly, it was based on a show that I didn't show up for. That was like the tip of the iceberg. I think we had a little miscommunication, and he was under the impression that I confirmed that I was pulling up to one of his shows. I think it was maybe one in Philly, and I didn't show up. And my management or somebody reached out to say I wasn't coming. And I think, that being coupled with whatever, conversations were happening amongst him and his lady and, him just kind of getting this idea, maybe I don't fuck with him or whatever. And, he'll tell you himself he wasn't in the best mental spot at that time. And, I think he just took a hard left and decided to just go for it and felt like he had enough ammunition to maybe, put a major dent in my armor or decapitate me, And again, I'm really good at channeling that negativity and those pressures into pushing me to a next level where I go into a calculated reactive space.
Charged up back to back. You almost took up the bully position. Like, where y'all at? Like,
yeah, I mean, I just felt like in that moment I was like, all right, well, if we're talking about music, let me just show you better than I can tweet you, or better than I can text you.
Okay. This is Quentin Miller talking about how he linked with Drake and start writing these songs. Here we go. Let me take a piss real quick, chat. Don't go nowhere.
We did our last interview in 2016, and we talked about the whole Drake writing situation. But at the time, things were kind of brand new, and a lot of things weren't really mentioned, and other stories started coming out. Everyone that was involved spoke on it afterwards. So I just kind of, want to go back and set up the proper timeline and kind of tell the whole story since you're here right now. Is that okay?
That's cool.
Okay. So you were already rapping, and you were already, working with, legendary people like Dream and so forth. How did you end up originally linking up with Drake and writing for him?
Like I said, I had met Boy Wonder in a random session in Toronto that I had through the Red Zone situation I was with at the time, and so I just shot a random Hail Mary text to Wonder one summer, maybe 2013, top of 2014, and he was just, I was like, yo, can I send you some songs? He's like, yeah, I sent him some songs. He fucked with it. He was like, okay, he was working on Obi O'Brien at the time, and he had me come work with Obi O'Brien. And then I guess the word from Obi O'Brien moved over to Drake. He was like, yo, Drake wants you to send some songs. So I sent some songs, and Wonder was like, yo, he's fucking with this Tim Band song. He's fucking with this hard. So yeah, I was really excited. I thought I was gonna have a Drake feature, because at the time Drake was just doing random features for just up and coming artists, So I thought I was about to be one of those lucky artists, and it turned out to be what it was. But yeah.
Whatever happened to Ovi O'Brien? Because he was right there in the mix, and people were thinking he's going to be the next person out, and then he just poof disappeared.
I'm not sure. He was a really cool dude, man. Shout out to Ovi O'Brien, man. Shout out to Ovi O'Brien. Both of those guys, they were really cool, welcoming dudes at the time. Who knows?
Okay, so you get in the studio with Drake, and you end up basically co-writing what became Used to, 10 Bands, Legend, and Six Man.
Yeah. Yeah. I also wrote on Bless. I also wrote on Bless too. That was when I first met Big Sean during that session.
Okay. And what was the vibe like working with Drake and OVO 40 and everyone else?
Man, at the time, if I don't know, it just felt like a dream because everybody was just so welcoming. It just felt so cool. I felt like I was, a part of the shit. Like, Drake literally was looking me in my face like, yo, man, this album wouldn't be possible if it weren't for you. Like, you really helped. You have no idea, da da da. Like, you saying this to a dude that was working in the bakery, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought my dream was over with after Tricky and them dropped me off, like I was fucking crying like a baby, because I'm like, how the fuck else am I going to do this? They were the people that I knew and I didn't have nobody else, so it just felt like it was just one of the best times, yeah, it felt like I was on the team.
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, I've listened to every Drake project. I would say if you're reading this, it's too late is my favorite Drake project, period. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you. That's actually, I feel like Drake was really rapping through that whole project. And, I like Drake singing as well, but I feel like that was like that hip hop project that he put out.
I feel like, obviously I have a bias, so I don't really like to rate if you're reading this. I just kind of like to hear what people say, Obviously for me, it's special for...
Yo, chat, stop mentioning Daylight, man. Daylight ain't write a fucking thing, nigga. Daylight could barely write his fucking name, nigga. Nigga, Daylight got the biggest mouth in the fucking industry, nigga. If that nigga even wrote a letter to Drake, nigga, if that nigga wrote a DM to Drake, that nigga would have been said it. That nigga ain't write goddamn nothing for Drake. Y'all could clip this, send it to the nigga. The nigga ain't right. I don't know. That's one of the things that's been pissing me off because he's been almost acting and allowing this like possible rumor. Nigga, you ain't right.
Man, so Akademiks is going over the Kendrick Lamar and, you feel me, Drake beef. Honestly, I feel like the beef is over. Like X said, I don't think Drake got ethered by Kendrick or Kendrick got ethered by Drake. You feel me? But I will say this, the allegations that, you feel me, Kendrick Lamar brought forth on Drake, it's probably going to hurt Drake way more than the allegations that Drake brought upon Kendrick about beating his wife. No one even talks about that, even with all the Diddy stuff going on. No one talks about it. But you feel me? Every time I see something with Drake, bro, like someone's always bringing up something about him being a pedo or something. So like that's definitely gonna last way longer. So you feel me? And I want to be super unbiased. So if we ever want to say anything with Kendrick and Drake, ain't gonna lie, like rap wise, like song making wise, you could say, okay, you could kind of say 50-50, or like you could give like a small edge to Kendrick, I guess. But like the side of the beef where hit song, you would have to give it to Kendrick because, you feel me, Not Like Us is, yeah, number one, took over, was doing things, so he won that. You feel me? I'm a Drake fan, but I listen to Kendrick too. I'm just a fan of music and stuff, so gotta be as unbiased as possible. You feel me? Drake's a GOAT. Kendrick is a GOAT. Man, all we could do is pray for peace. And yeah. Man. It's so hard saying that. I won't say that Drake took a L, but you feel me? Kendrick definitely, he gained way more. Drake has nothing to gain from this. He only has something to lose. Kendrick has everything to gain, and he gained. So hey, is what it is. I wish that this rap battle could have been anything else but this. But hey, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy Big X News, and let me know, do lies count, or are we just counting all the lies? Like, let me know, and I'm out.